Okay, so now let's get into our next story, Kate Beckinsale. And, speaking of people who I'm glad is finally speaking out on things that's going on with them, let's talk about Miss Underworld, Miss Celine, one of my favorite vampire hunters next to Buffy. So Kate Beckinsale posted a video on Instagram because with all the drama that's coming on with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and stuff, it prompted the actress to speak up regarding, excuse me, her own situations of that has happened to her on set. So the Underworld star shared her horror stories in reaction to Blake Lively's harassment complaint against her. It ends with Us director and co-star Justin Baldoni. Beckinsale that said that she was grateful to Lively for highlighting this is not an archaic problem no one is facing. This is continuing. So yeah, she basically went on her Instagram, which was removed. Thank God for. See, this is why I told her I'm not leaving Twitter, because if a lot of times people post stuff on Instagram and then y'all delete it, or Meta's doing a dumbness over there, and they'll probably just delete the video themselves. And so Twitter, even though I can't stand Elon, I keep it, because if I need to find certain things, I can bring it to y'all and show y'all the video. So I happened to go over there and I found her initial video that she had posted on Instagram before it was taken down. So in the video, she was talking, she started bringing up how there was one actor who was drunk on set, and there was a guy that got pleasure out of thrashing around women and stuff while they were on set. So I do have this video, and let Miss Kate Beckinsale speak on it, and then we will come back and talk. Please hold.
I've been following, as a lot of people have, this situation between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. And I must stress, I don't know either of them. But what I will say is, what it has highlighted is this machine that goes into effect when a woman complains about something legitimately. I've been on a film, for example, where I was, by the end of it, referred to over the walkie-talkie and to my face as that, because I had said, I'm finding it very difficult. My co-star is drunk every day, and he's obviously going through something, and I have full sympathy for that. But I'm also waiting, as is the whole crew, 6 hours a day for him to learn his lines. And it means I'm not getting to see my daughter in the evenings ever for the whole movie. I was put on such a strict diet and exercise program on one movie that I lost my periods altogether. That's happened twice. Been put in a situation, very unsafe fight situation with two different films with two different actors, who sometimes there's a certain kind of actor who gets a kind of a thrill out of sort of legally being able to harm a woman during a fight sequence. And I was harmed to the point where there were MRIs proving it. And actually what happened was I was gaslit and made to feel like I was the problem, blamed and ostracized. This is not an archaic problem that no one's facing. This is continuing. And then when it does happen, a machine goes into place to absolutely destroy you.
Okay, so yeah, so that was basically her giving her side of the story. That video, as I told you, was removed. So, but I ended up having to find it on the Twitter. So there you have that clip. Now, there's also, after that video was put out there, people started speculating because, and then names started coming up. So Kate Beckinsale's been in a lot of movies outside of Underworld and that sort of thing. She was in Pearl Harbor. So people started speculating that it was Ben Affleck. So she had to come in and clarify some situations because people was throwing names out there. And y'all already know how y'all do. The minute y'all get on social media and start throwing out names, it becomes a witch hunt. You want to cancel people without any kind of evidence to prove otherwise. And then the celebrity has to get on social media and debunk a lot of stuff you're saying. So it was Ben Affleck's name came up, and Colin Farrell, because she was in Total Recall, which I actually liked her the Total Recall she did with Colin Farrell and Justin Timberlake's wife, Jessica Biel. I actually liked them, although the movie was a little too serious. I did like the overall sci-fi aesthetic and seeing Kate Beckinsale kicking butt in that damn movie. So I think that's probably why I like it, because I like her as an action star. But anyway, so, she basically had to come in and debunk some stuff. She said, Ben Affleck protected me on an extremely toxic film set and could not have behaved more respectively. She said, before adding, I'm not going to go into any more specific detail on who it was or wasn't, because frankly, the most problematic part has actually not been the actors. It has been that reporting a problem or an abuse has resulted in a greater punishment than one could ever imagine. That's the point. Everyone says, why didn't you tell someone? Well, on the whole, we have told our agents or managers and the head of the studio, and this has usually also been witnessed by 30 to 100 people. And in one particular incident, there was an actor who was so rough with me that he destroyed part of my costume and ripped my wig in half, not to say covered me in bruises, winded me, and scared me to death, she further alleged. So yeah, people come forward, you see what happens. Look at Blake Lively. She came forward with stuff, people automatically didn't believe her. But then again, like we said earlier in the previous story, is that, yeah, Blake has this reputation of being a not so nice person. So yeah, you could see like people could be a little hesitant and want to jump on her side based off of old clips that we've seen floating around of her being impeccably rude when she's doing interviews and things of that nature, or how she can come across as real diva-ish and standoffish. But that still doesn't give someone a right to treat you like crap, especially when you have to, unfortunately, have a strong, you know, exterior, so that way people don't walk all over you. And now Kate Beckinsale found the courage to tell her side of the story, and I'm hoping that we get more actors that will come out, male and female, that talk about maybe things that they've enjoyed on set, because I'm sure that we've heard over the years that there's a lot of people who have been exposed to a toxic work environment. And when they complain, you want to destroy them. He also said everybody was incredibly concerned, shut the set down for several hours, and was really worried and upset. Now, as soon as I called the head of the studio, actually urged by my mother to do so, because my instinct was not to, as soon as I complained about it, everything flipped, and I was punished, ostracized, and could not have wished harder I hadn't said anything, which is just not right, and the entire reason I made this video in the first place. Now, and then of course, so after that, and you want to know something? She's not the first person that's had to come and debunk rumors about Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck's name has been tossed in two things. There was one saying he did a movie with Blake Lively. People was throwing it around that it was him. She had to get online and say, no, when we did a film together, he was a perfect gentleman. So people are trying to paint Ben Affleck with this bad brush. Just because y'all mad over his situation with Jennifer Lopez does not mean that he's an asshole when he's on a set. I'm sure that I've never heard any stories about Ben Affleck being unprofessional when it comes to doing the job. He is someone that takes acting and performing very seriously. So in another comment, she also denied that she was talking about Colin Farrell, who she starred with in Total Recall. So, and then, there's my favorite picture of her and Celine, and we have her and Blake Lively here. So she said Kate Beckinsale can't speak directly to Blake Lively's complaint against her. It ends with Us director and co-star Justin Baldoni, but the emerging conversation has inspired her to open up about some of her own negative experiences on film sets as a woman. The actress shared her story in a new Instagram video, as we played already. And her takeaway from the story is that it put a spotlight on what she described as machine effect when a woman complains and something legitimately offensive, upsetting, harmful, or whatever in this industry. What I want to know too, well, she also said that she opened up about some of her own experiences on film sets, and I do want to know who that alcoholic is. That's what I want to know. And my thing also is, did any of this happen when she was on the Underworld set or even Total Recall? Because the first two Underworld films and Total Recall was directed by her husband at the time, Len Wiseman. So it kind of makes me wonder, I'm like, did it happen on one of his sets? Did he know? And if these things were happening, did he not protect you? Is that the reason why y'all got divorced? What are the reasons? I'm curious. So they said the actress noted that this is not an exhaustive list of what she's endured throughout her career, but she is glad to see that not only are times changing when it comes to how women are treated, but women like Lively are standing up for themselves as an inspiration to others to do the same. So I'm grateful to Blake Lively for highlighting that this is not an archaic problem and that no one's facing. This is what she said in the video. This is continuing. And then when it does happen, a machine goes into place to absolutely destroy you. And I'm sure that's the case in other industries as well, but it's got to stop. Now, in the captain's her video, she added, everyone in every industry should be taken seriously and not punished when something egregious happens to them at work. She went on to explain the extra layer of having it played out in the public sphere. In her industry, it can have even more far reaching implications, including destroying someone's livelihood, mental health, and reputation that could be very difficult to recover from. So I'm not trying to say, well, poor actress, we have it so difficult, but I think this is a problem that affects every industry. It's just that it's a little bit more visible in ours. And yeah, and that thing that's was like, I've always been saying that, like, yeah, I just feel like at the end of the day, it becomes more visible because it's in the entertainment industry and people tend to pay more attention there. But we know that harassment and abuse and gaslighting and all these crazy things happen in other professions. It's just that because it's Hollywood, people tend to pay more attention because it's on the screen. It's, you know, all the other things that goes on with that. So in so many ways, I'm glad that um, people like Kate Beckinsale, people like Blake Lively are speaking up. Hold on, I want to check and see what is Blake Lively's sign. Because why do I have a feeling that she is a damn Virgo? I was wondering what's your birth? Oh, Cheryl did not tell you she a damn Virgo. August 25th. I was like, wait a minute, why do I feel like this is giving Virgo tease? Because it's like, you know, one thing I will tell y'all about Virgo, and this is why now I'm believing her even now more than ever. Virgos, we stay stacking up a receipt. And we wait for that lightning to strike, that perfect moment. And we will pull out a receipt of you doing some shit 3 years ago. And we'd have that as part of our lawsuit against you or any kind of stuff. Like, I will bring up something you done forgot about that you did 6 years ago. And I got it locked in here. And I remember that time you da. And he'd be like, well, damn, you was holding, hell yeah. We filed shit away. So I definitely am like, you know what, Blake? Girl, shout out to you. And also shout out to Kate. And I'm really hoping that this opens up a Pandora's box for more actresses to speak out. And even if you're a guy and you're going through a harassment and abuse and all kinds of other stuff at the hands of another actor on set, um, call them out. I wish I was naming names, but maybe like what Kate says, it's not a big deal. And you know, with people like Blake or Kate speaking out, I feel like this opens also a Pandora's box for the next generation to not have to face the same abuse and on-set shenanigans that she's had to endure throughout her career. So I still have to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding Kate Beckinsale and her spilling tea about some stuff that happened to her behind the scenes on, you know, in her movie career? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.